'Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find.
Stacks of suitcases grind the parked Model A deeper into the dirt. An extended family inside defies the carrying capacity of the vehicle. The driver leans out the window. Want this? He swings a violin around by its neck. 10 bits. We need it for gas. You hear a muffled pounding from somewhere within the car. 6 bits then. We need it for gas. The pounding becomes frantic. The violin is yours, and the car shudders down the road. It's not quite out of sight when the back door pops open and you hear a girl's voice scream at you. That violin belongs to Louise Ames, you dumb fuck! The door and the girl are wrestled back into place, and the car fades into the blur of the horizon. Its weight feels like a comfort as you walk. After all, who knows when you'll need Louise Ames' violin? Grow and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes. As a liquid soaks in, each plant pushes up from the soil, unfolding and stretching for the sky. He turns to you. It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants survive, they don't grow fast enough to fill people's bellies. He smiles. My miracle formula will change that. He shakes his head. I'm not giving up my secrets that easily. The state will pay a lot of money for this. He shakes the vial. He tears off a leaf. Here, try some. It's just bitter at first. But as you swallow, the fibrous mass burns in your throat. You fight to hold it down, and your stomach knots tight when the plant matter hits it. You cough and hiccup. The man looks at you, curious. What do you think? He waves a hand. Well, yes, there are some kinks to work out, but people are starving. They can't be fussy. It won't be long before no one around here goes hungry again. Your stomach protests. You feel like you'll be hungry again very soon indeed. Deep in the fields, you come across a group of young men clearing weeds and sod from a roadside plot. Pitchforks flying, weeds dying. You almost don't notice that the dark lump beside them is a dozing boy, lying smack dab in the middle of their work. There's an odd frenzy to the way these boys are ripping the sod apart. When they notice you approaching, they jog over and stand silently between you and their sleeping comrade. The youths share nervous looks. The oldest steps forward. Get going, he blurts, leveling a pitchfork at your gut. His hands are shaking. He seems serious. You hurry off, but the boys don't check to see if you've really left. From the top of the next rise, you watch them lift the motionless boy and carry him farther back into the field. It's only when they move him that you realize his wrists and ankles have been bound. woman waits while a man in a truck fills 2 of her buckets with scoops of whitish powder from a bin. She sees you staring.
Want to make some cash?
She calls. She takes you up the drive to her farmhouse, where her son and daughter are mixing something in a metal barrel.
Locust bait.
She says.
Poison. The town bought enough for everyone, but we gotta mix it ourselves.
She'll pay you to help. You use a broom handle to mix the poison with bran. The teens watch from the porch, faces frozen in distrustful scowls. Their mother pays you well, but later in the day you feel lightheaded, tingling pins and needles all over. You feel only a little better after you vomit. There's something wrong about this lonely farmhouse. The cows have unusual rain over the porch, and the open door shows a cow lying in the empty parlor. The flower boxes are still well tended, though. There's outgoing mail in the box. The moment you step inside the fence, an old woman screams,
Hey! Hey! This is private property!
You quickly realize that the sound is coming from under the porch. Indeed, you can see her hollering at you through the slats of the steps. You can see a parlor set up in the basin under the porch. A flowery armchair, a rug, and a little lacquered table.
This is an inhabited home!
The old lady barks.
The cows live upstairs and I live down here.
Above, a cow thumps its hoof. She twitches and startles.
That's right.
She shouts.
I'm a grown woman. I can live any way I please.
She shuffles to her chest of drawers and digs out a packet of rock candy in wax paper, like a grandmother saves for her grandchildren. She hurls it in your face.
Thank you for visiting. Now get out!
I've met a lot of people like you on this road. There's something you want from it, isn't there? The desire that scratches and scrapes away at the sides of your body. Does being out here feed that part of you? It's that way for me, living in a state of motion, resting nowhere, returning to no one. I've been a wandering ghost for a while now, and I'll be that way for some time to come. But that's a fate I should have known I was in for. I'm a poet, after all. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that? Well, I can find that kind of movie theater story at any stop along the road. What happens to your voice when you don't have a center? That's the question I've been asking myself. You can wander around or you can stay where you are, but what you say always comes from somewhere. It's important to have that place, that origin point for what you put into the world. I suppose the answer to my question is obvious. I haven't written anything in a long time. There hasn't been any point. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that? That reminded me of the kind of thing I used to write in school, just to be shocking. Bondage. Yes, I've been feeling trapped lately. Oftentimes, I'll notice my brain getting stuck in a rut. I'll think, I tried to defy what's normal. So, it makes sense I'd be punished for it. I've been punished by others plenty, but I also punish myself. The more I wander, the better. I can concern myself with food and a place to sleep. Less time to get trapped stewing on the past. Less time to think about what went wrong, how doomed things are. Last town I stopped in, I didn't have cash for the bookstore. Do you have any stories like those paperback adventures? Listen, these days, I can tell when a story's heartbreak isn't authentic. The past haunts me. Every day I think about how things used to be. There was a time when it felt like Silas and I were inseparable. My poems, his books, we were part of each other's ideas. Now, I don't know how to describe how much I've missed that voice. His voice. Imagine that, a poet at a loss for words. The one thing I thought I could do, just gone. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that? That one was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but your sorrow. I liked it. I know sadness. These days, the melancholy just settles over me like a heavy bay fog. It makes its residence with me, and I accommodate it. I start to think, well, the world isn't made for being happy in, not for someone like me. My old friends have their happiness. Jess and Deborah, Pauline, Silas too, maybe. And good for them. It'd be wrong to begrudge someone their happiness, wouldn't it? No matter how jealous you are. Alone, out here, I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell me a hopeful story to lighten my mood? That reminded me of the kind of thing I used to write in school, just to be shocking. Change. I've seen a lot of change. Everything. Everyone I thought I had is gone. Our friend Pauline, she had a big house and a husband who often wasn't around, so naturally, that's where we went for readings. We were wild, radiant, sweaty, alive. All kinds of people came, and all of them were poets. All of them with such beautiful souls. Each with so many things to say and the true heart to share them. It's hard to believe that's all gone now. Here comes the sun. It's time for me to pack this camp, take my things, and rejoin the road. On the road, you learn to leave a lot behind, to live with only what you need. But some memories never leave you, whether you need them or not. If you find yourself traveling up this way, you and I may cross paths again. I'd like that. Keep well, okay?